Hey guys, it's really no secret that you need to be a content creator these days to gain attention and build trust with your community. What is a secret is our formula to creating the best blog. Here at Meet Edgar, we have had some proven techniques all curated in one beautiful ebook just for you to teach you the strategies we've seen work to drive traffic to our blog and to make sure once people get there, they love consuming the content. This goes from having enough white space because we need to think about the fact of how people consume online these days is in a fashion that's incredibly fast paced. People don't read huge blocks of text. So this secret blogging formula will break down how you can make sure that your skimmable yet well-researched blog posts are offering information that's actually going to help people. It's also a place where you'll be able to see how we create a content calendar so that our quarters are themed, and then within that theme, we break it down to our weekly blog posts, as well as a lot of different tips that are just going to save you a lot of time and make sure that you have a strategy that you're going to stick to. So if you haven't downloaded our secret blogging formula yet, there's a link in the description of this video that I'd love for you just to go and grab that to skim through. This is something that we've actually created out of another process that we love teaching here at Meet Edgar, which is upcycling your content. And that's the process of not having to reinvent the wheel every time you do something. So this is actually an ebook that we've created out of a lot of well-researched blog posts about blogging. So go ahead and see what you can take from it so that you can make your own formula for blogging. Because if we don't have a strategy that we're sticking to, we're often just going to be throwing spaghetti against the wall, the best metaphor we can come up with for this, and trying to understand what our audience wants to see rather than having a calendar that we're following because we've taken the time to go into Facebook groups and see what our ideal audience persona is actually going out there and asking, bringing those topics and languages to answer questions back into our blog content, and then going and sharing those links within those groups. That's how you create really helpful content, is paying attention to the questions that are being asked, answering them in your blog content, and then sharing those links in the spaces where people are asking those questions. What a great way to raise the brand awareness of your brand in a really super helpful way. So those are just some tips and tricks that are so simple, but they're not easy to follow unless you actually make a plan for yourself. So this secret blogging formula will walk you through all of that, how to make sure you're doing what we refer to as a headline generating machine, because we all know that headline is half of why people share or consume content on social media. There's so many quotes like by David Ogilvy who say, once you wrote your headline, you've done 80% of the work of writing your blog post. And it's true when we think about our own consumption behavior. So often we just share a post because of what we read on the headline and didn't read through the whole thing. So it'll walk you through our process of a headline generating machine, which is essentially just making sure for every blog post we write, we generate 10 to 20 different headlines that could potentially be used for it. Out of that brainstorm session, we not only get the best headline, but we also get those additional 19 other ones that we didn't use. And we can use those in the status updates where we're sending that blog post out. Because here at Meet Edgar, we're all about an evergreen strategy of social media posting. So if you write a really well-researched piece of content, you want to make sure that you're sharing that blog content multiple times on social media. But you can use those additional headlines just to add some variety in a really great way in order to know like what language is going to capture your ideal audience best. So these are just a few tips and tricks. They could be obvious things that you're overlooking just because you've been in such a routine with your blog content that you forget how there's some easy things and some easy tweaks you can make just to up-level it. Because we also know, these days Google isn't just looking for like keyword stuff blog posts. Google doesn't really index or care about your keywords just being in there as much anymore as they do on these concepts like dwell time. Dwell time is just once someone actually drives traffic to that blog post or piece of content of yours, how long do they stay there? Do they actually read it? It's insane that the internet can track these things sometimes, but it truly is something that goes into making sure your pages are showing up and being indexed on the first page or second page of Google. And the way that you do that is just keeping people interested by adding visuals, adding white space, having the structure of your blog post set out in a really conversational way. And there's a lot of different business and writing techniques in that as well. Just some things to think about. Download your guide in the link to this video here. And if you have any other questions at all, leave it in the comments below or email support@meetnegra.com. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys, and go write some awesome content to add value and entertainment to your followers day to day.